What's up, guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectible Reviews, coming at you today with another figure review. Today we got one that is hot off the press. We've got the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe Revelation Tri-clops figure. Brand new deluxe figure, just started dropping at your local Targets. I had a buddy who actually found this for me and was kind enough to get it in my hands. Let's jump right into this thing. Jumping into the packaging here, we got a little bit of Netflix branding here. This is based on the original series. If you've not watched it, I highly recommend it. I did thoroughly enjoy the series, especially the second part of it. I believe the second part did some redemption for the first part. We got our Masterverse logoing right up top. Masters of the Universe Revelation Tri-clops there on the front. Obviously, we can pretty much see everything that he comes with. The figure, got some accessories in here as well. As we come on around to the side, got some really cool artwork here of Tri-clops in his cult garb. As we spin around to the back, more promotional artwork, a little write-up here on Tri-clops, as well as some of the other figures that are coming out here recently for this figure line. Kind of interesting that they have the Savage He-Man here, but do not have Orko, as I believe that is a 2-pack. So I don't know if they're maybe looking at Orko as more of an accessory than an additional character. I'm not sure, but all of these are really, really cool looking figures. Andrea is really the only one that I'm not real interested in. It just doesn't pull on those nostalgic heartstrings, but the rest of these that actually kind of remind me or reminiscent of the original cartoon and kind of an update of the original figures, like the Scareglow, the Fisto, those are right up my alley, and I cannot wait to get my hands on those two. They are actually on their way from Big Bad Toy Store as we speak. And then we come around to this side, just says Tri-clops, evil, and sees everything. Let's go ahead and crack this guy out of his packaging and see what we got. All right, guys, so we got Tri-clops out of his packaging and onto our review table, and let me tell you, I absolutely love this figure. It just hits all the spots. Let's look at accessories. So as you would assume, he comes with his sword. This is going to be pretty standard with most any Tri-clops figure. Nicely painted silver there for the blade. Handle has a little bit, I believe the actual handle hilt, whatever you want to call it, it is painted black here, and then it appears as though it is orange plastic otherwise. Then we have his cult garb. So this is here the scene where he is, I guess they're kind of like worshiping Motherboard or whatever that weird scene was in the first season or the first part of the Revelation. So this here, these is soft good. This is just cloth. We've got Velcro here, just holding this, kind of holding this together in the back part. We'll slide this up over his body. We'll actually take a look at this. And now this looks on him, 2 little holes here for the arms to come out. And then this would actually then slide over the top of the purple garb there. Got the cape. This is a really soft, nice soft plastic, so it's going to have no problem, fitting right there over his body. So we'll take a look at that here in a moment as well. Now the packaging, you can see, comes with 2 holding hands. He also gets 2 open palm hands as well. Does have the nice little detail there on the top of his hand that we do see in the show. And then lastly, we get his cult head sculpt. So this one, much more plastic involved in the creation of this head sculpt. You can see here, still has the 3 eyes going around. You can spin those eyes. So you can see how they are spinning around. Looks really good. A little bit of messy paint here kind of around the nose area, kind of where it's covering up his eyes. A little bit of messy paint, but not too bad. And then on this one, he does have a black chin strap, where we'll take a look here in a minute. It is a silver chin strap on the head that comes straight out of packaging. This is all painted black, white here up top, and obviously the rest green and red, but it looks really good. So just a quick comparison I wanted to do straight out of the gate. I wanted to show you, this is the Tri-clops Origins figure, which is very reminiscent, very close to the original figure. I don't have that original figure from the 80s. But you can see here how they've basically taken in Revelation and just slightly stylized the original figure. There are so many similarities from the boots, the orange colorations here of the belts, all the same, the orange detail down the middle of his chest armor there, the gauntlets orange, all the way up to the head. Now, obviously, he's a little bit more of a vibrant green, where here they've dialed it down into more of a darker green. But just so much nostalgia with this Mattel Revelation figure. I really, really like what they're doing here. And I was kind of late to this. I had to jump in late and start picking up some of the figures that I'd missed. But man, this is just turning out to be one of my favorite lines out there right now. All right, let's take a quick close-up look here of our Tri-clops figure. So you can see what I mean here by around the chin strap here. This one is in silver where the other one was not. We still get the gimmick here on the head where we can spin the eyeballs and change those. Now, one interesting thing is each of these eyeballs are the same. So if you look at the eyeball, there's one, there's two, and there's three. They all have the exact same eye. So that's interesting. I did not expect that. That is a little bit different. Got a little bit of detail here. You know, they've kind of turned him into kind of a mechanical type of being, you know, for this, with this motherboard thing that they have going on. So they have a little bit of kind of a mechanical bit to them. And you can see there's one on each of the shoulders there. It kind of looks like a little metal piece or something there on his shoulders. But it's, you know, it's not so much that it takes away from the figure or takes away from kind of that original look of him either. It's just something you don't really notice it unless you pay it a whole bunch of attention. I even think they did a good job on the skin color here. You can see his skin is a much darker color, and that is very close to accurate as to what we would see with Tri-clops. The Classics figure was kind of similar in that fashion as well. Up here on the shoulder armor, we got those spikes. So that's a little bit kind of the update, you know, the modernization that they're doing with this. Still got the same loin cloth there. Spin around to the back. See here, you just have a little tab you can untab to take off that portion of his armor. And we'll go ahead and do that here now. See what it would look like with some of these accessories, the Cult accessory being placed on him. So I'll kind of show you Tri-clops in this process. There he is with kind of just the burgundy cloth overlay, or really an underlay. So that's how we look at this stage in the transformation. All right, guys, so here we have Tri-clops all decked out in his cult garb. And let me tell you, this thing looks awesome. It really does. Now, I don't have any interest in posing him in this look because, again, this is a look that was strictly for Revelations, you know, the TV show, and I'm really going more for that nostalgic vibe of the 80s, so I really like the other way, but this just looks awesome. I am so pleased with the way this right here looks, and I could totally understand if you are a big fan of He-Man and this is your He-Man, if you did not grow up in the 80s or 90s and, you know, you've kind of adopted the Revelation storyline as your He-Man, this thing will look amazing sitting on your shelf. The cloth goods really work super well. Mattel did a fantastic job of making them fit the body properly and really accurately to how they really would a human body. They're not super thick cloth. They're very thin, so they fall on the body very well, and they fit snug enough to where it doesn't just look stupid. So I am very happy with this. Good job, Mattel, with the cult outfit here for Tri-clops. So while we got him in that, we will go ahead and just take a little closer look here. So you can see you kind of got these flaps that flap over the front of it. Very nicely detailed, very well painted. They're super, super soft. Same thing with the portion here that hangs down in the front. Very soft. You've got the belt strap wraps around in the back to kind of hold things in place. A cloth cape, black, hanging down from the backside. And then this just hangs over the top of his shoulders. Looks really good. And you can see here, I mean, as far as articulation, I'm getting his arm all the way up. Because it's a really soft plastic, it doesn't do a ton to hinder the articulation of this guy. And man, it just looks so cool with the head sculpt, the cult garb. It is just a really, really nice looking piece. Let's get this guy transformed back into his original look, and we'll take a look at articulation. All right, so let's run through articulation really quickly here. Won't spend a ton of time. It's the same as pretty much any of the other figures in this line up to this point. Head down to there, head back to there. Full 360 on the head. As we said, you can spin the eyeball gimmick here up on the top of his head. They're all the same eyes. Arms up to there comfortably. Full 360. Swivel in the bicep. Double jointed elbows, we can get slightly past 90 degrees. In the wrist, full 360, and forward and back with no problem. We've got upper abdominal crunch in there. We can't get a ton of crunch, however. I think maybe the armor does hinder that some. A little bit back. That will allow you to swivel a little bit there on that upper abdominal crunch, but you have a major swivel there at the lower abdomen. That does not crunch in the lower abdomen area. That is a flat piece of plastic that just basically pivots on the lower abdominal area. Splits out to there. Lots of kick action. We have a cut in the upper thigh. Double jointed knees. Tons of range of motion, only hindered by the boot. We have a cut just above the boot, allowing a full 360 turn. And then lots of ankle pivot and ankle rocker. there in the ankles. Let's go ahead and bring in a couple of his counterparts for size comparison, and we'll wrap up this video. So, just for size comparison here, we'll go ahead and bring in his Boss Skeletor as well as Man-at-Arms. So you can see here Tri-clops is pretty tall. I guess he's the tallest of those three. He's one of the taller figures in the line so far. And then we'll bring in a couple standard 6-inch figures. You've got the Joker Mafex Hush as well as the Marvel Legends Weapon X figure. And then lastly, we'll bring in two other 7-inch figure lines. We've got Mythic Legions and Super 7 Leo. So that is our size comparison for this guy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Get out to your targets and find Tri-clops. He is starting to hit now. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button for me. Also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button and drop those comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Revelations line, the show. Love to hear from you guys. Are you collecting these? Are you late to the bus like I was? I'm so glad now I've jumped in. I did not wait too late. So if you're on the fence, if you're considering this line, get in there now. We can get everything at retail. Really, really fantastic line. It is a high recommend from ManCave Collectible Reviews. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Until next time.